Lydia, really nice to be speaking with you today. You have been building a community to help people who are undergoing a career shift. How did you find Skool? Let's start there.
It's a good question. So I was working with 𝐒𝐤𝐵, who was literally like, you need to get into Skool now. It was right at the start. So the idea of being an early adopter was really exciting, actually. And for me, the thing that's made me stick around is the other people that use Skool as a platform. It's really inspiring seeing how people are making a load of money, how people are building community, how people are interacting and sharing ideas. I don't see myself going anywhere anytime soon.
You managed to get probably one of the best URLs on the platform as well. That was that was a good move. What is your URL again?
So skool.com/work. Now,
Yeah.
I actually wanted /career, but clearly Skool has that for their own career platform.
Okay.
But that would have been amazing, right? But work works because my business name is Works for Me Coaching.
Okay. Yeah. That was one of the things. I've started so many communities just for the URL trying to like it's so easy to base a whole business, I think, around like getting a one word on the URL. Not smart, but
So satisfying though, isn't
yeah.
it?
So tell me a bit about what you're doing with your community. I'd love to hear a little bit more about what you're doing inside.
Yeah, to be honest, it is an evolving thing, and I still haven't quite figured out how I'm going to use it in every single way. But at the moment, it's the place where I direct my traffic. It's the place where I direct my paying client. It's the place that when I have a conversation with somebody and they just want to continue thinking about career change, but they're not quite ready to step in and do it yet.
Right.
So we have conversations. And there's stuff in the classroom that people can get involved with. Some of it's paid, some of it's free. But for me, I just love bringing people together. I love people. I love talking. So it's an amazing platform for that. Being able to encourage conversation, being able to encourage community, I think it's just so valuable. And particularly with something like a career change, because what I find my clients is they don't have a sounding board. Because friends and family can be really biased,
Right.
right? Or even when they're not meaning to be, making a career change can have a huge impact on those people closest to you. So having a space that people can come to and speak to people who are on a similar journey, experiencing similar fear, frustrations, is, I think, just really valuable. And I'm loving being able to host it.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Having a free community and actually using a free community as a space for conversation rather than just an email list or something, like that's really, I think, taking advantage of the tool that Skool is.
Yeah.
Hmm. So when you are working with people inside of your community, what are some of the things that that you find the most valuable? Are you getting on like calls with people, like Zoom calls in the calendar? Is it more like in the comments or like what kind of features of Skool are you using that you find the most helpful?
Yeah. You know what? There's daily posts, so there's conversations going on all the time. But I think the thing that I'm loving the most is I do a monthly Q&A. I never know who's going to come. Yeah.
Mhm.
I ask, does anybody have any questions? Post them in advance. People generally don't, which is fine. And it keeps me on my toes, actually, and helps me figure out what is it that people need the most of. So on those calls, I've done CV reviews. I've helped people figure out, is this the right job for them to apply for? Is it
Mm.
going to be something that lights them up? It goes all over the place. I think last time we had a really big conversation around, when you apply for a job and they go, what are your salary expectations? And
Mm.
we did had a bit of a chat around what that can look like and how you can position yourself the best to actually get
Right.
so you want to get paid rather than feeling like you have to put a specific number down on an application form. So it was a
Right.
really great conversation.
Hmm. I'm curious about like what is it that you would do with your clients? Like if somebody is looking for a new career or they're like really starting to question their job right now, like what are some things that you might help with them with, or what are some of the questions that they should be asking?
So a lot of it gets distilled right down to what are your values? What are you actually good at? What are you good at and enjoy doing? And what are you interested in? Because if you can find a career that lines up with those three things, the chances are you're going to enjoy going to work. If one of those things is a little bit out, it can make it really hard. And that's why that we have this narrative around, oh, Monday morning, then
Mm,
living for the weekend, because so many people haven't put in that time and effort to think about what they actually want to do and what they're actually good at and enjoy doing. And what are my values? What are the things that matter most to me? Because actually, you might be really passionate about what you do, but if you have a value as family and your boss is asking you to do overtime every day, that's going to clash with your values. So it's never going to feel like a great fit. So
mm.
it's working out these things and then going, okay, now I have all this information about myself. Now I know myself a little bit better. What does that mean? What job will allow me to use this stuff? And that's the process that we go through with my coaching clients.
So when people are in that position, when they're thinking, okay, I know what my values are, I know that my workplace doesn't quite align with my values, is that a sign of an immediate career change, or do you also like sit in that dissonance and kind of try to work within what the current career? Like, how does that look?
It's a really, really good question. And I think there isn't a black and white answer, actually. It really depends. But for so many of my clients, they're closer than they think they are. And
Mm,
actually, it just takes a tweak. Um, Often, it's not about starting over. Often, it's not about throwing out all their experience and having to retrain and start from the start and taking a massive pay cut. Often
mm,
it's going, okay, how can we use your experience? How can we use your skills? How can we use your status in your job as it is and maybe sidestep? Or how can we transfer all this so you don't have to start over? So it's the power of the small tweaks can be really, really great for my clients. But to be able to do that, first of all, you need to figure out what is it you really want. It's
mm,
such a simple question, bit more tricky often to answer. What do I
mm.
really want? Because we bury it so often, don't we? And we go, oh, well, I don't know. What do you want? I mean, I've got two young kids. It's tricky for me to go, well, what I really want to do on my Saturday morning is this, because they want to wake up at 6 in the morning and jump on my head. And that's not what it's really choose to do. And it's the same with a lot of things, right? We get told by other people and by society what we should want.
Hmm.
It's really difficult to actually go, well, what do I want? And that's what coaching creates space for.
I'm curious about those small tweaks that you mentioned. Can you give some examples of like what are some of the small tweaks that people might do if they're listening to this and they're like, yeah, my career's not really there right now? Like, what are some small tweaks you might tell them to try?
And again, it will really come down to what it is that that person is looking for, what it is that that person's wanting. So, example I gave before, if you've got a value of family, maybe a small tweak is changing your working hours or maybe compressing your hours so that every other week you have a Friday off. And you can take your kid to swimming lesson or whatever it might be. Another small tweak could be being able to direct more of your time on a specific task or on a specific project. So not leaving your job role, not leaving your industry, but shifting your focus. So you're spending more time doing the things that you actually want to do
Mm,
rather than maybe getting dragged down by the other tasks that you don't want to do. It
mm,
could actually be changing where you work. So if you work in the office, would you benefit from having a hybrid solution? Would you benefit from, if you're fully remote, would you benefit from having a couple of days in the office or in a co-working space? So it's really figuring out what helps you to feel happy at work. Do you want to be around lots of people? Do you want to be in a noisy workspace? Or do you actually want to be on your own, knowing that you can put whatever music you want on, or you can have complete silence if you need to? It really comes down to knowing yourself and knowing what helps you do your best work.
Mm. I imagine that a lot of those conversations, with your boss at work could bring some tension or they could be challenging. Like, what are I guess I'm not so much interested in the obstacles in the internal stuff. I'm more curious about like how do you actually have those difficult conversations? Like, do you coach your clients through that? What is your opinion about how to approach those kinds of conversations?
That's a really good question. And yeah, and sometimes we do a bit of role play or whatever needs to happen to
Mm,
help them because it's a confidence thing as well. It's
mm,
your manager at work is like a position of authority. So but having that confidence to go and say, this is what I need, but having the confidence to walk away as well. So it's
mm,
going, how important is this boundary for me? And if
mm.
they think no, what will I do? So there's
Right.
a lot of coaching around that. There's a lot of coaching around how important is this? How much of a priority is this um, to make it happen? Because, yeah, like you say, having those conversations, it's confrontation. We don't, humans tend to avoid confrontation, right? But
Mhm.
if you have done the work and you figured out to do my best work, I need
Mm.
I need to work in this environment, or I need these things to happen.
Right.
Otherwise, the alternative is this. Often just being able to lay that out in black and white of I either have this conversation and there's an opportunity for this to happen, or I don't have the conversation and I stay where I am.
Mm.
That kind of can answer the question for itself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. It helps me understand why coaching could be so valuable in that kind of space because really having that conviction, I guess, in what you're doing I can see how helpful that would be.
Yeah, it's so
Mm.
easy to post. It's so easy to we make these big decisions, don't we, when we're like late teenage years or early 20s and we go, right, I want to do this course and that's going to lead me down this career path.
Yeah.
And then get to your mid 30s often and then go, okay, well, I'm here. I've got the success. I've got the salary. I've got the XYZ. And actually, I'm not satisfied. What is
Mm.
wrong with me is often the question. And actually, there's nothing wrong with you. You've just been chasing after something that you never really wanted. You were just told by society often that those are the things that mean you're successful. So a big part of my work is helping my clients go, what is success for you? So
Mm.
they're big questions. They're big questions that does involve some deep work, but it's the work I love to do.
Lydia, it's been great speaking with you. I'm sure that we'll speak again. If anybody wants to get a hold of you or find out more about your program and how you help people navigate that kind of career change, where can they find you?
So come to that brilliant URL. So school.com/work, and you will find me and daily prompts and a monthly Q&A and lots of fun in there.